Today we have with us Dr. Reddy, who is the CEO of the Gemmological Institute of India, that has been a pillar of research, trust, and innovation in the gem and jewelry industry. So I would like to welcome Dr. Reddy.
Thank you, Ranjali, Reena, and I am very happy that you're interacting with us and we will exchange information as we move.
Hello, sir. First of all, we are really glad to have you over here. And can you just tell us briefly about GII's legacy and how it all began?
It's a good question you asked before the start of the interaction. GII, as you are all aware, it was founded in 1971 by 5 visionaries from gemmology and jewelry trade. And they had an objective of providing certification and also developing the human resources through quality education. We've come a long way. Today we are contributing in testing, education, as well as research and development. This is an important aspect most of the gemmological institutes should have, and we are excelling in that day.
Thank you, sir. So, moving on to the next question, where GII has achieved several milestones recently. So, could you highlight some key achievements from the last 2 years?
It's a good question you asked. And GII has been contributing to G&J industry. One of the recent achievements is we got NABL certification for diamond grading, and it will be very useful. And another thing is that we opened a branch in Pune. We are in an expanding mode, and that is in a strategically important place in Pune. We hope that it will contribute quite a bit to our testing arena. A few months back, we were all a party to it. We have organized an international conference called AGDRT 2025, which is a sequel to earlier AGDRT 23. I would like to share that quite a few people, experts in gems, diamonds, and testing the jewelry, QA, and so on and so forth, have spontaneously accepted and participated and shared their expertise with us through invited talks. Another important point there was 30 contributed papers from India and abroad. Authors have come and presented, which is a recognition by the peers about GII ability. Quite a few, or there is a continuous process, so we'll move on to the next.
Thank you. And that was quite impressive. Where GII has also been active quite internationally. So, can you just share, more about your recent events and collaborations?
I would like to modify this question a bit. It is not just international alone, because we have the experts both in India as well as outside who are of international stands, what we call peers. We get regularly invitations from India and abroad to share our expertise, like we received the experts in AGDRT 2025. Recently, we had a very good meeting with Danat, Bahrain, and where they showed a lot of interest in collaborating with us. Soon we'll be collaborating. We have a very good relation with GIT, Gem and Jewelry Institute of Thailand, which is situated in Bangkok, and we have agreed upon to write an MOU and share the expertise on the origin determination. And similarly, Professor Ramchandra Rao, who is an expert, who is from IIT Chennai, and in fact he has developed a nice infrastructure for testing and fabricating the LGDs in IIT. We hosted his 2 visits as well. We visited there and utilized their techniques, their facilities for our R&D. And with all these people, we are in the process of making that MOUs so that we believe in collective goals. So as I told you, internationally, we do receive quite a bit of collaboration calls.
Moving on to the next question. Well, GII is known for its advanced testing facilities. So what makes your approach quite unique in this?
Yeah, first and foremost, we would like to tell that we believe in integrity, transparency, and as a matter of fact, quoting the testing results. And in this thing, our employees are well trained and they follow the protocols which have been developed over the years, which convey the results based on the actual observations. This I feel is unique because on one hand we are providing very reliable certificates. On the other hand, we are providing the quality education that that contributes to J&J industry in developing the trained human resources. And added to that, we do R&D quite acceptable in international arena. So altogether, these three pillars are the major parts, both in testing as well as training, which is, I feel, unique.
Got it. Thank you. That was insightful. I would like to know what role does GII play in educating the trade and the next generation of gemologists?
As I was just mentioning, that our founders had a vision to develop the trained human resources. In this, one of the major aspects is that we provide not only theoretical background, our hands-on training is a benchmark in training. In that, we allow all the trainees to use simple equipments with our samples so that they get a feel of what they are going to face in future. So based on this training, since 1971, we have trained more than 5,000 people. We are not believing in having loads of students, but whatever education we provide, it is of value. So these are the techniques we are using. In fact, they get an opportunity to visit all our infrastructure facilities to know what are advanced equipment. As well, we arrange a tour so that they will visit an industry and have first-hand experience. This is our specialty of training.
Thank you. So, how has GII contributed to raising standards and trust in India's gem and jewelry trade?
And this is an important point you have raised, because in this trade, as well as J&J industry, both are hand in hand. One of the things is trust. To create this trust, the testing laboratories have a role. And while we are testing, we have to follow the internationally accepted protocols. And also, we have to have a trained skill set trainees who will do the testing. These are the two important things. So what we do is we give a continuous training to all the employees. We provide protocols, and also our test certificates are of unique in nature. At any given time, without your poll, you can understand this, you can see yourself, and this aspect is very special with GIA. In fact, it has elevated its standard in the sense you can see the certificate by yourself. And the certificates when we just make by just one person. We make all the observations as well as advanced instruments we use. Then we take an informed decision based on discussion with seniors. It's a collective decision and an informed decision. Therefore, standards have according to me.
Got it. That's remarkable to know. I would like to know, how does GII maintain like the scientific independence and integrity, while working closely with the industry partners?
This is an area where always questions integrity and trade is a tricky issue. So what we do as far as we are concerned, we are a testing field. All our testing methods are based on the R&D we carry out. Besides, we have continuous interaction with the customers, and all the test reports are accessible to them at any given time, as I just mentioned. And also, we maintain the data in such a way it can be examined, re-examined, and therefore integrity is taken care. And there is no question about any a compromise, because what we observe, we finalize the report based on that observations, both expertise from gemmologists over many years, expertise of graders, as well as supported by advanced equipment measurements. Therefore, this transparency, which is a subjective word, is based on the tested data, and we are open for any discussion. Added to that, we organize seminars to the traders, as well as our trained manpower always are ready to discuss with the customers if they have any questions. So independent in while measuring, transparent to the customers, as well as integrity, absolute integrity, because we do not allow the testers to know who has supplied the material. We keep it as an absolute transaction. So integrity of the results, integrity of the sample of the customer, as well as reliable measurements we follow.
Got it. That was quite important. Moving on to the next, like what role do you see GII playing in strengthening India's position in the global gemstone and like the jewelry sector?
Yeah, this is an area where all the gemmological institutes have a responsibility. As far as GII is concerned, I feel we can form hub of knowledge, or in the sense knowledge center, as well as we can provide training to the people who try to learn more advanced aspects. We have been doing this since foundation. However, when you talk about international arena, we have to arrange and exchange the programs, which we have began to do. And it all depends. It is not one institute's responsibility, but we are contributing to this through our seminars and training programs, and a bit of hope, not a bit, open to discussion and criticism as well. So all this together we can contribute. Once we contribute and bring a level in testing from all the stakeholders, for all the stakeholders, then naturally it will propagate to the entire nation, as well as it will bring a name in the international arena. That's my feeling, because it's a collective effort people have to do, and we are contributing.
Now, moving on to the next question, as you know, everything is evolving, and so is the gemological world. So, since the gemology world is evolving, from spectroscopy to AI-based classification, how is GII embracing the lead dimensions?
This is a very good question, because we have to move on with the developments. This is an area where we are in the forefront. R&D is an important aspect. Based on that, we have procured our equipment, which are for both the testing as well as the R&D. Now, in the current scenario, see, if you think about 50 years back, gemmology was more than adequate using a microscope. From there, we moved to the spectroscope. We, when I say not only our institute, many institutes. And from there now, it is time to unify the systems using the AI so that the results will be excellent, reliable, and identification becomes easy.
Okay.
That's the thing we are making an effort.
That's fantastic, sir. Now, since we're spoken about evolution, may I know how does your research team approach complex challenges like detecting synthetic or the treated gems?
Yeah. This is an important area. A decade back, lab-grown diamonds were not acceptable. At that time, from the requests of J&J Trade, my GII R&D team has developed a machine that is a sort of based on absolutely on our research, and we named it as QCheck because in 30 seconds, in a lot of diamonds, we can identify which are naturals, which are lab grown, which are imitations. From there, we moved on. More than 400 machines are all over in India in different institutes and as well as the factories, and a few, about 50 or so outside India also. And from there, our latest model, what we call Division Pro, it can identify not only LGDs. Earlier, we used to call them as LGD. Now we can differentiate CVD and HPHD as well as CZ, that American diamond. With zirconia also we can identify. And now we have a provision to test the studded jewelry and so on and so forth. That is the one of the easiest thing. That's why the name QCheck and now Diamond Vision Pro are very apt. And in fact, we have a kiosk here itself in this premises, which a customer can bring their diamonds and they can spread them on a plate and which will be exposed, put into this machine where one operator from outside will help in the mode, test your diamonds by yourself. For that, there is no big education required. This development of the equipment is something like, from the laboratory to industry. This in that mode. As well as I can say that it is towards the Atmanirbhar.
Now, moving on to the next question, are there any upcoming projects or technologies that you're personally excited with the GII?
Yeah. So, this R&D is a continuous process. R&D we carry out to search for the food. And from there, wherever it is possible, we convert into machines, which is a contribution to J&J industry. We have been doing quite a bit of research for the last 2 decades. Based on that, we got our government of India recognized as the Scientific and Industrial Research Organization, what we call SEAL. In continuing that, as just now I told you, QCheck has come out of based on our luminescence research. Recently, we developed a method, just a poster, which in international conferences we presented this, where we can find out we can test the treated diamond for enhancing the color, whether it was, what sort of ionizing radiation was used, how it was treated, we can find out. This is a contribution. In fact, it is an exciting area. Recently, some people from Australia sent diamonds we have tested. Similarly, we are moving on developing equipment for bird testing we just finalized. So there are many areas. This is the area where this R&D, one has to have a sort of inquisitiveness to search for the right answers, and it goes on whichever is the area, and gemmology is not an exception.
True that. That was really quite informative. Meaning more what advice would you give to young gemmologists entering the field today?
It's not only to gemmologists. Once you say it is R&D based institute, research and development based institute. One has to look for the truths. And as far as gemology is concerned, people have to think about material science, chemistry, physics, technology. Added to that, we also have to see how this data can be patterned so that we can use the artificial intelligence and get the origin of color stones, for example. Similarly, we talk about treatment given to a diamond, and based on our Raman spectrometer and combining IR and UV visible measurements, we can find out. So my suggestion to the young gemmologists who are just entering is try to learn what is there in your surroundings. What are the objectives with which you are testing? Put into your thinking mind, and that is R&D. And develop a system, and if we can contribute something unique to the industry, that is a contribution to the nation and exports, etc.
Good. So, since we have spoken about that, but what are the qualities you would like to look for the further gemologists or researchers or the professionals, the upcoming professionals at GII?
Yeah, again, I have come from a research background when I joined here. So one of the things all the time I used to tell and I continue to tell is put a question mark. What am I seeing? And what is the final thing we have to move on? So keen observation. That is the most important thing, and it's an apt thing in gemology. And then look for solutions, and even in any complex situation, we can divide into small parts, and we can do it. So my advice to the young researchers or young gemologists, not necessarily researchers, because we do all the testing in research mode.
Mm.
So this is the area where with keen observation and noting down the facts and utilizing the instruments available, that is the one of the things all the young people have to look into. And not only young people, even at the people like me, it is a continuous learning process. And in gemology, throws a lot of wonderful scenarios where R&D will go forward and new testing and others can be developed, new equipment can be made.
Got it. And that was completely on point, regarding the keen observation made in any field. Now, do you think the consumers are becoming more aware and demanding about like the gem gems and the attractive?
Yes. And in fact, now gemmology science has come out of family tradition. Nothing is stopped. It has become more of scientific oriented work. Therefore, obviously not only institutes but also traders, they are also aware about many things. Obviously, for example, when you talk about ruby, people would like to know what is the gemmological origin, because based on that, this price will vary. So their awareness is an important step for us so that we are pushed to the corner to learn more. So this is the current scenario where learning is important. Their awareness, which comes with a lot, which brings in a lot of demands, which makes us to think twice before we finalize. In the whole process, collectively, their knowledge, our knowledge together, the level of gemmology is going. So the trackability definitely is an important thing, which we are developing a certain models which will be help.
Lastly, what is your, vision for the future of GII?
GII has to look into the future with two insight. One is contribution to the G&D industry, which has been its main objective when it was founded. That can be achieved through a quality education. And another thing is, it has to be spread to all over India. So we have to expand by putting different branches, which we are making an effort. The GII will contribute to future by both R&D and testing and more importantly, expanding to different areas. As already I mentioned, we have a branch in Pune. We are likely to open in Surat and different places, but they're all not very clear at this stage, but started. Similarly, we are looking at the international scenario by collaborations, which are on the move because draft MOA stage we have reached. And my vision is that a day should come where we will provide reliable certificates like we continue, but it a bit faster by using AI-based developments. And my yet another vision is to develop the equipment as and when it is possible. At least assemble rather than importing black boxes, both for saving the money as well as quality improvement.
Thank you, Dr. Reddy. It is a really pleasure to take your interaction with you and to know about the GII insights and the latest updates. It is really helpful to the gem and jewelry global industry and to the young generation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Reena and Pranjali. And it is well known that Hira Javarat has been our friend, and with their reputation both domestically and internationally. In fact, it is our pleasure that this interaction has taken place to express ourselves. And this is a media or a carrier for our products as well. So it is a mutual benefit. In fact, I am of the opinion we all have to move hand in hand. That is the thing always I harp on, collective growth. Thank you very much, both Preena Shukla and Ranjali, who has taken this sort of interaction come interview, which provided us an opportunity to tell about ourselves also.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.